Hi guys, it's BB. Welcome back to my channel, my beautiful monarch butterflies. I hope that all of you are having a lovely day. Welcome back to the hashtag paper bag junk journal prompt challenge 2025, hosted by Paper Confessions with Karamia and BB's Closet Creations, myself. Also guys, I want to thank you for having helped me reach 1,300 subscribers. Y'all are so very sweet. Thank you for your support. Alright, and I also want to give a special thanks to all the collaborators that made this challenge possible. Thank you to Amber from Thrifty Journal Shop, Carol from Kinkle Path, Brittany from Brittany Linger Blinger, Gwen over at Gwen the Trash Witch, Gigi over at Gigi Hana, Tanya at Sage Crafts, and Angela the Traveling Crafter. Thank you ladies so very much, and for those who have also used the hashtag for the challenge. Alright you guys, so we had 30 prompts for the month of September, but if you too would like to join, you can find all of the prompts in the description down below. Just be sure you use the hashtag so that we can add you to our playlist so everybody can see what you made. Alright, so we've essentially created a junk journal using paper bags, and you can use any version of paper bag that you'd like. I've seen all kinds of versions on here. So it's the theme is all completely up to you. Here is the spine, which was one of the prompts. We had to create a snippet roll as our spine, and here's again one of the prompts. We had to create a pocket, so here is one of my pockets, and as well as embellished on the front is our wonderful master board. And here is how chunky the journal is looking. I'm still going to continue on journaling in this cutie, and I cannot wait to document all my future adventures. So here in the front you can see there is a pocket. There will be secret tuck spots all throughout this journal, and again here is one of our prompts, which consisted of layers. So I basically did like a little like fabric swatch, paper snippet, little flip up, and I think it turned out super cute. I incorporated a lot of my favorite papers, and I'd like to think that I really spoiled myself within my journal of using my favorite pages, favorite colors, favorite stash. So we have some little rub-on stickers here. I think I'll need to pick up some more of that because they're so gorgeous. Here is a wallpaper pocket, and then as well as one of our other prompts was a charm, and I attached it to one of my little birthday bag tabs that I created out of scraps. Again, here is another prompt where we had to use nature, and so I went in making a floating journaling card with a fun little tab using a butterfly. I remember having to take my son to school, my youngest, and something caught my eye that was flittering on the ground, and it turned out to be a butterfly, but it wasn't alive anymore, so I decided to keep it. And it says where truth and beauty meet, because although the butterfly had already passed away, I saw beauty in it still. Here's another one. This is a floating journal card, and then I decided to make a cute little pocket with the doily. And then again, one of our other prompts was to make a belly band, which I featured on the back side of this cutie. And I went in with some favorite trim of mine, and I didn't have a lot of it left, but I think this was a good place to put it in. I have featured a lot more journaling spaces here, and then this one is our prompt for weather. And when I think of weather, autumn is my favorite. I decided to make a sweet little tag inspired by Joan Edelstein. I will link her channel down below, and her channel is Inside the Arts and Passion Studio. She uses dissolvable stabilizer, and she has a wonderful tutorial up on her channel. And then here are some more beautiful pages. I love the pictures and the flowers in it. I think they are so beautiful. These images are wonderful. Alright, so here I made a large journaling tag. This was again one of our prompts, and let me see which one this one is. This was for prompt number 9, a tag. And I went in using a lot of florals. Florals are my absolute favorite. Alright, and so here we have another tag. I think this one turned out super cute. It's a little specimen nature card with prompt number 24, whimsical. And on the back side, I embellished it with some washi tape, some of my most favorite. And then on top, you could see that we have this little scruffy fabric. And then here we have some vintage wallpaper with a little scrappy piece ruffled. So cute. So my prompts are not all in order as I'm showing them throughout this journal, but they've been sprinkled throughout. And this one is prompt number 25, and it is called Mood. And this doubles up as a sweet little tuck spot. And here I have some Today I Affirm, a journal that nurtures self-care page. And so I took the prompt and I decided to incorporate it into my journal. And my mood was joy. And I wrote down, my joy is life's beautiful adventure, exciting experiences, even finding something wonderful in the simple and ordinary. Like the quote says, finding joy in the little things. When there is joy, there is peace. How will you go about nurturing your joy? My joy outweighs all of the emotional clutter, all of life's chaos, all unhealthy negative self-talk, all of the loud self-doubt, unpleasant memories, and all of your harbored disappointments, all feelings of fear and anxiety. I embellished it with magazine pages on the back as well as music because music brings me joy. Here was one of the challenge prompts, and I decided to watercolor, and I think it turned out quite nicely. I'm very proud of this sweet little challenge prompt. And that was prompt number 28. Next, I decided to include a little prayer card with dainty flowers around the border, and this came from my sweet friend Pam Vanny. So thank you so much, Pam. I absolutely love it. Having done all these prompts, I learned so much about myself, and I think Kara did a wonderful job putting them together. So thank you so much for having invited me on, Kara. And here is my gratitude page. I used a book page from one of the thrifted books that I had, and it said most thankful for in your life, and I fussy cut it out and incorporated it here into my little spread. I want to continue journaling on this page though in the near future. Again, I went in with some vintage wallpaper to make this shabby chic journaling floating card, and it also has stenciling on it, which is another one of our prompts, shabby chic and stenciling. And then I did a little sweet pocket here. I could do some journaling on the back, possibly talking about the prompts. And then I included this little handmade stamp using scraps from my sweet friend Jovi's printables. Here's another little hidden tuck spot. And then on the other side is another pocket as well. So several little hidden spaces for you to sneak in secret journaling. On the back side, we have our prompt texture, and I decided to do embroidery for the first time, and I think I did wonderful. So that was prompt number 5. Initially, it was just a little piece of fabric, but decided to back it up onto some cardstock, and I think it turned out very nicely. Here we have some textured paper, which went really well with our textured embroidery card. So very sweet. I also filmed this outside. It was kind of like raining slightly, and it was just a mood. I really thoroughly enjoyed flipping you guys through this journal with the fall weather on its way. It makes me so happy. It makes me feel so at peace. And then I've also included little poems throughout. I actually have a book called The Symphony of Life from the Cilician collection, and I really love the compiled poems and the images that they use. This came from my friend Tanya over at Psychic Crafts, and I love the little quote that it says. So I incorporated it into this little fabric pocket that I used bed sheets from. Here we have a little belly band, that I'll be using in the future. And then again, I went in with some of my little birthday tabs from a birthday bag that I received this year. Next up, we have prompt number 12, Waterfall cards. I felt really inspired by Jennifer over at Scrapbooks and Memories. She had recently created one for a collaboration for Jovi, and I just decided to go with how she had made hers because I couldn't make mine to flip open by itself. It looked a little too complicated for me, so I went the simple route, and I think it turned out quite nice. I used Susan's printables from I Totally Love It, and like I said, they are free printables, so be sure and check out her Ko-Fi, which I will be linking down below so that you can get her free printables as well. She did such a wonderful job, and I love the colors that she picks for her printables. Alright, next up we have a little flip out here with some ledger paper, so I can do some journaling there in the future as well. And again, going in with the Symphony of Life from the Solution Collection images and poems. And then here we have a sweet little pocket tuck, and I embellished it with some of the leftover trim from the belly band that I had shown you guys earlier. Next up, to our right hand side, we have number 21, our hidden paper clip, and I tucked in some goodies on the side there, and you can see that this pops up. And I used a kit from Jovi's printables up on her Etsy. She had actually created a birthday kit for me one year, and it was for a giveaway, and I think it turned out quite nice. I really like how she took the magazine that I had sent her. It was very vintage. I believe it was from like the 1920s or the 1930s, and she was able to create wonderful digital kit out of it, so it turned out very nicely. That will be linked down below. Next up, we write a letter to ourselves. I wrote, "Dear self, you are always evolving and growing with each challenge you face. It's normal to question your decisions, even in the present. Don't linger excessively on your disappointments. Constructive critique on your mistakes is fine, but also give yourself some grace. Sharing tenderness and kindness with others with exception to yourself, it's time to break the cycle. You tackled on those life choices with limited knowledge and experiences. Maturing and development takes time. Self-reflect, improve, and persevere. Always trust God's hands. It's never too late to reinvent yourself." I also paired it with one of the transcripts that my daddy introduced me to during my uncle's funeral this past weekend, and it's called An Interview with God. It reads, "I'd dreamed I had an interview with God. So you would like to interview me?" God asked. "If you have time," I said. God smiled. "My time is eternity. What questions do you have in mind for me? What surprises you the most about humankind?" God answered, "That they get bored with childhood, and they rush to grow up, and then long to be children again. That they lose their health to make money, and then lose their money to restore their health. That by thinking anxiously about the future, they forget the present, such that they live neither the present nor the future. That they live as they will never die, and die as they will have never lived." God's hands took mine, and we were silent for a while, and then I asked, "As a parent, what are some of life's lessons you want your children to learn?" God replied with a smile, "To learn that they cannot make anyone love them. What they can do is let themselves be loved. To learn that it is not good to compare themselves to others. To learn that a rich person is not one who has the most, but is one who needs the least. To learn that it only takes a few seconds to open profound wounds in persons we love, and it takes many years to heal them. To learn to forgive by practicing forgiveness. To learn that there are persons who love them dearly, but simply do not know how to express or show their feelings. To learn that two people can look at the same thing and see it differently. To learn that it is not always enough that they be forgiven by others, but that they must forgive themselves, and to learn that I am here always." After writing that letter to myself, I did feel like that little transcript of the interview with God was confirmation that what I had wrote was what God wanted me to put on paper. Next up, I have this poem called Keep Praying. This was one of our prompts as well, prompt number 19. And the thought behind this poem was, everything God does is intentional and has purpose. The poem reads, it matters not how much we ask when any prayer we speak, how many blessings for our friends or for ourselves we seek. God does not mind how often or how pleadingly we call. Indeed, he warmly welcomes our petitions one and all, but we must understand that by his wisdom great forever, some prayers are answered very soon, some later, and some never. For he knows what is best for us and all for whom we pray, and whether he should help us more than we deserve today. And so each time we beg of God some favor to fulfill, let us be patiently resigned to his most holy will. Next up, I have made a secret journaling spot here. This was also one of our prompts for the challenge, and that was prompt number 10. And so here I created this beautiful little journal spot with a little tuck spot on the back and then a little pocket in the front. And then I decided to include this little trim that my friend Tanya sent me. I really like the butterfly and the sweet little rose, and the sentiment reads, the fragrance of the rose makes you a happy feeling. And then up top is our secret little journaling spot. I use some digikits from Amity Bloom and Paper Terrace, and I think it turned out quite nice. To the right, you'll see this beautiful red bordered page, and it also gives prompts to what to journal about, and one of the questions is, what advice about life do you want others to remember? And I can document a little bit about that in the near future. And then here we have a sweet little hidden journaling spot as well. And this one was one of the fun prompts within our challenge, and it was a map to your heart. So I took some of the magazine sentiments and images in order to create this journaling spread, and then in the center of it all, the heart of it all, share what makes your soul shine. So one of the things that you can see on my prompt is expression, which is, I feel like, multifaceted experiences, which has to do with like music and art, crafting, maybe key moments, memories, and sharing quality time with family. And I also put love on there, which I feel has a lot to do with like romance and creating your story. And by creating our stories, we create laughter and joy and happiness. And something else that brings me happiness and joy is being out in nature. And you can basically get very inspired to create art even just by looking at it and taking pictures of it and just making an experience of it all. And fifth on my list is food, which I feel, again, it circles back to experience and family and paying a tribute to your roots and how your story matters and sharing what makes your soul shine, which again I feel like it's circled all back to the center of it all, the heart of it all. I'd also like to take this time to let you guys know that by hitting the hashtag, you can view everybody's creations and feel inspired by their interpretation of the prompts themselves. Some of them went in order and some of them didn't go in order, and I just feel like everyone's prompts turned out wonderful, and I'm so glad to see how much inspiration there is out there and how much talent. So I wanted to share this book, A Symphony of Life. It's got wonderful, wonderful poems inside of it that I distributed all throughout my journal, and I know that it caught my friend Yahida's eye, and she had asked me where it was from. I picked it up from our local library, but if you are interested, the pages are matte and they're very beautiful and they fit just perfectly within a journal. I didn't have to cut them to size or anything. It's like they were meant to be in this journal. And here's another little close-up of one of the poems that were within the book, and it's called All Is Well. And you can see that they border the images quite nicely around the poem, It's so beautiful. I'm absolutely in love with that book. And here's a little bit of paper bag flip out, as well as some vintage scrapbooking paper. It looks quite nice, and I just made it into a pocket. It's very, very thick. And then you can see that I've attached a sweet little pocket here, or like an interactive journaling spot, which I will open up here in just a moment. I embellished it with some 1930s ledger paper, as well as with some ephemera, with some florals. I feel like y'all know me by now. Everything is very floral, but it's what I like, and it's very much what I wanted to incorporate into this journal. So yeah, that was our little interactive journaling spot. Prompt number 11, and that was made out of a file folder. I think it came together very, very nicely. It does take up quite a bit of space within the journal, but I don't mind it. And so here you can see me opening it up from a distance as opposed to the little close-up, but I think it turned out really nice. We have a sweet little belly band on the interior there with some vintage wallpaper, some music paper, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out. MJ, I call her my tia. MJ from My Paper Journey was the one that sent me those gorgeous printables, and they worked together very nicely with this file folder interactive pocket. And then it's embellished with Susan's Ko-Fi printables from I Totally Love It. So again, thank you so very much, Susan. She's also been sweet enough to give us a shout out for the challenge and getting the word out there. And if you guys had seen it on her channel and came on over, so it's so very greatly appreciated. Next up, we have a die cut, and this was prompt number 17. I hadn't really messed around with my die cutting machine, but I could see why they call it die cutting, because I literally wanted to die after die cutting so many of these specimen cards. It's very tedious. I very much appreciated the people that had gifted me die cuts in the past, but I have a higher appreciation for it now because it does take a lot of time. So again, for those of y'all who have sent me die cuts in the past, thank you so very much. Next up, we have prompt number 18, a page extension, and prompt number 16, a stamp and color. And so I stamped here and used colored pencils to color in the florals. And then you can see how it flips out here with an extension page, and then hidden inside are our signature of different types of papers, some of which are wrapping paper, which I made a little pocket out of. You can see it there, some vellum sheets. It's so pretty. I love the pattern on it. Some ledger paper, and you can see how cute it all turned out, and it just hides and tucks right behind our page extension here. Here's another little pocket. This paper is slightly more delicate, but I think it's nice to incorporate different types of papers within your journals to add interest. I embellished the page extension with some vintage wallpaper, and it is raised, so there's a little bit of texture to it. I quite like it, almost like embossed texture. And then I put in some of these little goodies inside of the pocket, and you can see that I did some more stamp and color on the hinges there on the inside. I quite love this bird with the mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I like to look at them, I like to craft with them, I love to eat them. And that is the end of our journaling flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed all of our wonderful prompts. I will catch you guys on the next one. Y'all please take care. Bye.